Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a Josh Gibson themed episode here on the channel. We're going to take a look at a great Gibson card that I received from a friend of mine and someone who's well known in the hobby community. And then that seems like kind of the perfect excuse for me to show off a few more Josh Gibson cards that I have picked up over the past maybe 6 months and have not yet shown off on the channel. So here is the card that I received from a hobby friend. Got this great Project 70 Josh Gibson from my pal and yours, Dan, over at Old Sarge Collects. One of the greatest, one of my favorite channels here on YouTube. One of the greatest collections of really old, pre-war, non-sport subject matter that I've ever seen, but also just scary good vintage baseball collection and even some amazing modern as well. Love Dan's personality, love his collection. Again, I'm sure most of you know him, but in the event that you don't, he's just a fantastic guy. Please check the link below. Go give him a sub. He's someone that I talk to on a weekly and almost a daily basis about the hobby, and I just have a tremendous amount of respect for Dan. So backstory here, he recently acquired the foil, the serial numbered foil version of this Josh Gibson card from Project 70, and Dan, being the nice guy that he is, reached out to me, asked me if I had this card. I did not, and he said he would send it my way because that's what kind of a guy Dan is. And a couple weeks later, this showed up in the mailbox. Great project card here. This is based on the 1957 Topps design you can see here with the white border and some of the font down here. Obviously in that set, they were photos with a normal background, and here we have some artwork inserted, but just a great Gibson card, one that I did not own. And here's a little bit of information on the back about the artist, Matt Taylor. And yeah, generous of Dan to send me this, just regardless. Love that Topps logo there. Regardless, but extra generous given what has happened with, Gibson's card values in the last few weeks since the incorporation of the Negro League's statistics got his name all over the news in the world of sports and even just the wider world of news. Finally getting a little bit of that recognition that he so much deserves. And so yeah, super generous of Dan to send that my way. And then because he's just an all-star guy, he included the envelope with it that it came in, the Project 70 envelope. And I went to go file this away in my desk, and then I realized there was a card inside, and Dan threw in this beauty, a dual Nolan Ryan Shohei Ohtani with that great refractor shine from Topps Chrome. This is the Greatness Returns insert set, which featured a player of yesteryear, a great of yesteryear, and a modern great side by side. What's really cool about this, I received a graded copy of this, a PSA 10 in fact, from my buddy Darren over at Return to Collecting many, many months ago, maybe a year ago now. And now I have this gorgeous copy to keep alongside it. I will absolutely keep both. This is a home run for me, having my favorite player of my youth and one of my favorite modern players on the same card. Just absolutely love it. Apologies for the glare there, but just fantastic. So such a thoughtful throw in, Dan, to what was such a thoughtful gift to begin with. You're just a great guy. Really appreciate your friendship and truly appreciate that addition to my Josh Gibson and Negro Leagues collection. Now, figured I would use Dan's generous care package here as sort of a springboard into showing off a small handful of Gibson cards that I haven't shown on the channel yet. These are cards that I picked up months ago before his prices kind of skyrocketed due to his recent recognition. And we're going to start with this one. Have a Panini card up in the background. This is an Elite Dominator insert, but to go along with that, I have this Crusade Josh Gibson. Now, these were popular inserts from Pacific, I think it was, back in the 90s, and Panini has redone them in recent years, but they have that English Crusade element with the lions and just bright colors going on. These are really, really popular when it comes to players from around the turn of the century. This is obviously a retro throwback to that, but I just thought the juxtaposition of getting an old school great like a Josh Gibson on a very notorious and popular modern design with some great shine included was just too good to pass up. This was like $3 maybe a month or two ago on ComC, and I think when I looked recently there was like one copy left on there, and it's now like $50. So just another example of what's gone on with his cards. But I like this for the same reason that I like the Elite Dominator. Just cool to kind of reimagine what a vintage player would look like on a modern design, especially someone like Josh Gibson, who I've talked about before, but doesn't have any playing era cardboard. So these post-playing era cards are all you're going to get for him. Now I've got a set of 3 cards here from what is generally my favorite modern release year in and year out, Topps Stadium Club. So for the first time ever, to my knowledge, they included a Negro Leagues player, Josh Gibson, in the Stadium Club release in 2023, which came out at the beginning of this year. And I have the orange parallel here of that card. A well-known shot of Gibson here, kneeling on his bat. But I just love that he made Stadium Club. I think that's beyond cool. When the checklist came out and I saw that he was on it, I was just ecstatic. And these are numbered, not super tough or anything, numbered to 199. These oranges, I'm not trying to complete the whole rainbow of his Stadium Club cards or anything like that, but I mean, at the price point and being numbered below 200, I just thought it was a cool pickup. The 2 that I like more than that are my 2 favorite parallels in the Stadium Club release year in and year out. We're going to start with this one, the unnumbered members only parallel. Now these are case hits, and they span the entire 300 plus card checklist. So you don't have to be a mathematician to put the odds together. You would have to, with perfect collation, open hundreds and hundreds of cases, not hobby boxes, hundreds of cases to find one of these members only Josh Gibson parallels. So just love that card. I've got a somewhat extensive collection of members only parallels. As I mentioned, Stadium Club is just a favorite set of mine year in and year out, and just so honored to have any Negro League player added to that parallel collection. I do hope that in future years, with this increased attention on the Negro Leagues, that we get some of the lesser known players included in some modern products. It doesn't always need to be Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige. Would love to see some of that next tier down, but hey, for now, this is a great start. And then the prize of my little Stadium Club Josh Gibson collection, if you watch my channel frequently, you probably know where this is going. My favorite parallel in that set, going back over 10 years now, the Rainbow Foil Board. Check this card out. Lighting in here, not perfect, but you still get a sense for just how amazing this looks. As they have been every year since they initiated back in 2014, these are numbered to just 25 copies. But man, the shine on this, maybe my best shiny Josh Gibson card. And if we take a look at the back, I've got copy 8 of 25. So just 24 others of this one floating around out there. Huge fan of this. This is definitely one of the centerpieces of my collection of this parallel. I've developed, especially in the last year or two, started to really collect these pretty hard and develop a nice collection of these. And this Josh Gibson is near the top of being, the cream of the crop as far as that collection goes, and being numbered out of just 25 is definitely one of my probably more valuable and more scarce Gibson cards. So let's put this one up in the background and let it catch some amazing light as we continue chatting. And then we're going to close it out. Again, the timing here was perfect from Dan because I just got back a really, really nice Gibson card from ComC. And this has to do with what's my personal favorite Josh Gibson, which you see a couple versions up in the background, but it's this card here from 2006, Allen and Ginter, the first Allen and Ginter release. They included him on the checklist. I love the mini versions of the card in particular. We saw a few of these in a video that I did a while back, if you want to check that out. It was kind of a tongue-in-cheek video about, has Josh Gibson made modern cards relevant? But the basic gist is, like I talked about in this video, he doesn't have playing era cards. So modern cardboard is the only way to collect this guy. And of the vast array, and I'm sure growing now that he's getting the attention that he is, of Gibson cards that exist, this one here is my personal favorite. So I've gone down the rabbit hole collecting the different versions, the base card, the black mini. This one here represented probably my best copy, the Bazooka back, numbered to 25, very tough card. But I have one other version of this. Now I found this, I think it was back in February on ComC, and I bought it instantly. It went up at, I think it was $50, something like that. It was ungraded, and I immediately added it to my cart. And what I did is, and this is something I've done a couple of other times now, and I've talked about here on the channel, took advantage of the service now where ComC can send a card directly to PSA for grading on your behalf. So I sent this in, just economy, it was like $22, and I waited. It took about maybe 2 months, and then popping back into my inventory was this card right here. Now, obviously, it looks exactly the same as the other ones that we've seen in the background, with one difference. The standard versions of this card all have like a bluish, kind of purplish background there behind Josh. This card, you'll notice, has a pink or red hue to it. Now, the difference here, other than that factor, the easy way to identify this is a card that Topps created for a trade conference that was held in Hawaii back in 2006. And they made these custom backs for these, which are just incredible. So, obvious shout out here to my buddy Dylan, being a Hawaii back card with a nice wave on it. But you can see this convention was held late February through early March 2006 in Hawaii. And they printed up a set, I think it was maybe 5 cards of subjects from that inaugural Allen and Ginter set for this conference. Now, this is a tough card to find. At any given time, there are sometimes none of these available on eBay, or maybe just 1 or 2, priced at many hundreds of dollars. So to get this for $50, it was an instant snatch. And then as the icing on the cake, I sent it off to PSA. Not only did they grade it with the proper frosted background for a mini, but it got graded, which is something I was worried about, because a lot of these look like they're trimmed down a little thin. And I think that's just the way that they were produced for the conference. So anyway, long story short, this came back a Gem Mint 10. And I think the pop on these, I want to say, I should have looked it up before the video, less than 15 to 20 graded, period. And I think less than 10 of them are a Gem Mint 10. So this card actually may be the new centerpiece to my small Josh Gibson collection. Maybe someday if I grade the Bazooka back, numbered to 25, that would look nice slabbed up as well. But really happy with how this turned out for about $72 all in between the purchase of the card and the grading fee to send this off to PSA. I would have been happy to have this come back in any grade. I really just wanted it authenticated and protected. But to get that 10, it does feel nice, I guess. I don't put a ton of stock in that, but certainly not a bad thing to have happen to you when you're submitting cards on your own for grading. So that's going to be a wrap. That's the final Josh Gibson card that I have to show off in today's video. But in closing, please go, once again, give a visit to my pal Dan over at Old Sarge Collects. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this spread of Josh Gibson cardboard, someone who I'm glad is getting the attention that he is in our sport and in our hobby. And truly appreciate you stopping by. And as you know, I'll be back very, very soon with some more sports card content. Till then, keep enjoying the hobby, everybody. See ya.